Hey guys, my name is Joanna, also known as Just Another Flutist here on YouTube, and I thought that I would continue with my role on back to school subjects. This channel is for musicians, so the kind of back to school I'm talking about is music school. So last week I talked about how I failed a music history exam. Today, I thought I would look back at one of the biggest theory projects I had to do while I was in music school. In theory class in music school, you don't just learn about intervals, chords, scales. You do primarily learn that stuff in your first year, but you also end up learning things like voice leading and harmony. So of course, this means that sometime in your music school career, even if you are not going in as a composition major, you're going to have to actually compose something as one of your assignments. So basically, some of your theory courses are essentially very rudimentary composition courses. For me, Music 201 was one of those courses. Now, the interesting thing about this for you guys is that the professor who taught me this course was none other than Professor Robert Pritchard, better known as Dr. Bob. I actually did 2 interviews with him on this channel, so I will link that up there. Some time ago, he actually found the MIDI file of one of these composition projects, and he sent it to me. So of course, I went back to my own records and I found the exact same MIDI file. He does watch this channel very regularly, so I took that as a hint that I could show you guys my rather horrendous string quartet that I wrote for him. First off, before we jump right into looking at my score and listening to the recording, the very awful recording, I wanted to explain to you guys how the assignment went down. Not only was Dr. Bob teaching us voice leading and harmony type stuff, he was also teaching us form. So this string quartet project that we did for his class was actually split up into sections, and each section was due at different points of the course. So essentially, you were doing this project from the beginning of the course to the end of the course, and it was sort of like the big final cumulative project at the end. Dr. Bob, I know you're watching this, and guess what? I still have the direction sheets. Do you still use this exact one for your students? Because I still have mine from April 2nd, 2009. The first section that you had to turn in was the exposition. Second one is development, third one recapitulation, and the fourth one is the coda. So for those of you who recognize these terms, you will notice that it is Sonata Form. And indeed, this project was called the Sonata Form project. So it combined everything. It combined voice leading, harmony, and Sonata Form. From an education standpoint, this is such a wonderful way to get your students to really learn Sonata Form, to really learn how voice leading works, to really learn how harmony works. I find for myself that after I wrote this, I had such a deeper, more profound appreciation for the works of Mozart, Bach. For me especially, it was for Mozart, because prior to this project, to be really honest, I didn't really like Mozart. I don't know, his music just never really clicked with me until after this project. It was after this project that whenever I looked at Mozart's music, that was when I finally saw the genius of his work. The fact that all his voice leading works, and when he does break some rules, he breaks it really well. So this project for me was actually a huge turning point in my appreciation for classical music. And of course, that appreciation stems from the fact that this sonata is not very good. Here's the score. I have blocked out my student number for privacy reasons. That is why there is that black bar there. Are you guys ready? I don't know if I'm ready, man. I'm not looking forward to this. When Dr. Bob sent this to me a couple months ago, I actually did not have the heart to listen to the whole thing. I only listened to the first bit, and I was like, I can't listen to this anymore. It's just, ugh. I am legit kind of shaking right now. A lot of people don't really know this about me, but I have a very strong sort of cringe attack kind of response to a lot of things. There are a lot of videos out there that, like, if they're really cringy videos, I can only watch the first few seconds and then I have to pause for a long time before I can watch like a few more seconds of it, because for me, cringing is like a total body lockdown experience. Like, I can't function. You're gonna watch me cringe for this, but I'm not going to pause the music. I'm just gonna keep going. All right, here we go. Gonna press play right now. right, guys. There you have it. Did you guys notice how lost I got in the middle there? I couldn't concentrate on counting. Ooh, that random minor chord struck me by surprise. That was like near the beginning, wasn't it? Like it was around here, I think. I am cringing very, very hard right now. Let's see what Dr. Bob had to say about it. Did you guys notice that in the very first line here, I have an E sharp and a B sharp in my main theme? What's really funny is that Dr. Bob actually made a little note here. He said, quite the quirky use of chromatic passing tones. E sharp in your first theme, and then B sharp, question mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Apparently I kept that in, but he did say that my phrase structure was clear. I ended up getting a 95% on this project, so not bad, but it was with a lot of help. So the way Dr. Bob did this project was that with every section that you turned in throughout the course, after you had that section marked, graded, you could go to his office during his office hours and ask him everything you wanted to ask about your assignment. Not only would he answer, but he would also help you make your composition better. Like he wouldn't write it for you, obviously, but he would offer some suggestions. I thought that was so great. Unfortunately, I do know that not everyone took him up on his offer, but I did. I know myself. I know I'm not a composer, as you can tell. Yeah. Definitely not a composer. Every melody I make up sounds god-awful. So I knew that I needed all the help that I could get. If I remember correctly, the first drafts of each of these sections were pretty darn bad and they were marked down quite heavily, but I did not lose hope. I just took those assignments in and I asked him everything I could about it. Obviously, before I went into his office hours, I would actually write a list of questions and then I would go in and just ask them all in one shot. So that is why I ended up with a 95% out of 100 by the end. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have gotten like a 60 or 70% because I needed a lot of help with this. Definitely the way that Dr. Bob handled this project, I still think it's a wonderful idea. It forced the student not only to, really learn the concepts that go into this project, it actually forced us to learn how to keep ourselves organized and how to give ourselves due dates that splits a project into different sections. Typically, as you guys know, I am a crammer. So back in high school, I not only crammed my exams, I also crammed my projects. This project actually forced us to turn in sections of this project as individual assignments. And so because he did that, he demonstrated to us that it's just a lot more feasible to write something like this by giving yourself tasks to complete that will culminate in the finished project at the end. Not only was this a good way to learn, it was also really practical. Huge thanks to Dr. Bob for sending me that MIDI file again to give me the idea to do this video. And thank you so much for teaching us such an awesome course. I was very lucky to have Dr. Bob for 2 of my theory courses while I was in UBC. Thank you. So if you guys have had similar experiences with these same kind of assignments in music school, please share them in the comment section below. I think it would be really helpful for all the incoming first years to read other people's stories too. And as usual, if you like this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up and hit subscribe for new videos every Saturday. My last video is over there. And if you want to catch me during the week, my social media networks are down there. But otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Bye. By the way, I have my window open right now because it is, again, way too warm. It's just cool enough for me to wear a cardigan, which I love. At least I'm not sweating bullets like last week. Anyway.